loving me, I loving you. Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life, won't live in the past. All I wanna do now is making it last.
How can one develop the mindset that can foster healthy relationships? Welcome to Making It Last podcast. I'm your host, Noreen Daly. And you notice one of the words just knowing that topic was mindset. We're going to be talking about we're going to be talking to a mindset coach and a writer. Her name is Clisver Alvarez. Welcome, Clisver.
Thank you for having me.
You said that you're a mindset coach, Clisver. What does that mean?
Mindset basically deals with anything that it's a change in behavior, anything that has to do with how you think.
So what is it then? You manipulate people. Somebody might think that this is a negative thing, that you try to manipulate people. Is that what that is?
No, it's a change of behavior. For example, as to let's say you want to accomplish a goal, and you have been doing, let's say you have been, it's hard to change your way of accomplishing the goal. It's been, so you change your mindset, you change the way you think on how your behavior, you change your behavior, your let's say your the things you're doing to accomplish it.
Okay. So now that we've set the base, how then can one develop that mindset so they foster healthy relationships?
Through the behaviors, for example. The best way to foster the mindset, to foster a healthy relationship, would be a healthier you. I think that when you are healthy, when you are confident about yourself, when you are healthy in a vibrant, confident mode, and just you believe in yourself, you are confident. That's the word. Confident. And you believe in who you are as a person in general. I think that you attract people like that.
And when you're talking in terms of being in a healthier you, elaborate on that for me, please, because a lot of time when people think of being healthy, they only think of their physical health. So elaborate on that for me.
It could also mean healthier in a physical aspect, but it also means mentally, emotionally, physically, just taking care of you overall, because when you are all put together, people see that. The opposite sex sees that.
So there are a lot of persons, and even my own experience, I've realized that when somebody feels physical pain, it doesn't take much for them to say, okay, I'm going to go to the doctor to check this out. But yet, if it is that they're emotionally unwell, it's a challenge for them to then say, this is beyond me. Maybe this is bigger than me just trying to just get through this. I probably then need to see a counselor or even a life coach.
And I think you're right on that, because even with, like, in my culture as well, we do see that taboo a lot. We do see that it's just very unknown to go and see a counselor or a psychiatrist or a therapist or something like that. And I think that even just talking to a friend sometimes can help you get out of that headspace. But because we fear being judged. We fear being judged or mistreated, or there's a stigma there. There's a stigma. And I think that just going beyond that and saying, you know what, it's okay. It's okay to feel that way, because it's very normal. It's very normal for anyone. We don't necessarily have to have a mental diagnosis to feel to actually, because, I have bipolar disorder, but just because I have bipolar disorder doesn't mean that I'm the only one that feels this way. There's many people out there that just because, with the COVID situation going on, this has actually risen the depression rates, the anxiety, etc.
Yes.
And it's okay to get help. I think normalizing it is actually the thing that we have to do.
I know you've been enjoying the conversation, but we're going to take a little break and get a word from our sponsor.
For all your events such as educational forums, workshops, book launches, weddings, and more, contact Noreen Daly, the ultimate MC and event host. Visit noreendaily.com or follow her on Instagram at Noreen Daily Jam. Noreen Daily, creating long-lasting memories.
I like that term, normalizing it. I remember some years ago, I thought I had dealt with a particular situation. I realized I was having what I guess some people call closer issues, and I actually sought counseling. And it actually helped me through it. And I've taken it as an opportunity sometimes to say to some of the young people and just people have to interact with, it is okay. And as much as, you might look at me and think that I am so strong, I have it all together. I also have my own struggles. I also have my own challenges. And I remember there's a point in my life where I actually think I came close to going mad over that same situation that I had to get counseling for. And I said, people say it loosely that there's a thin line between sanity and insanity, but I think that's actually true. And what might push you over the edge might not push me, but we all have that thing that just might push us over the edge. So we really need to take the time to just get the help.
It's true.
And as you said, normalize it. But somebody is gonna listen to this and is listening to this and will say, I am in a space or I'm in a community where if I do that, the backlash I might get or what might happen to, is it really worth it? Because I might then not be seen as so in control. They might think that I'm going crazy, and they might start to treat me differently. What then do we say to somebody in our quest to help to normalize people getting help?
I think that in that situation, I think that so be it. Be it if people treat you differently, because would you rather it get to the point that you're getting, you're so far out that it's just there's no point of return.
I
think that it's rather you get the help or it gets so bad. And I think that, like I said earlier, you have to choose yourself rather than seeing what other people think.
Yeah. So one of the things you started on saying, I'm not sure if it is that you wanted to add to it, because we've been basically on it, is that in developing this mindset, you have to be healthier. And then we zeroed in on the mental. Are there other things that you'd like to elaborate on?
Well, I think that just working on yourself in general, and it's part of just believing in yourself, part of just when you work on yourself, when you believe in yourself, and it attracts other people, because people want that. That's what actually other people want to be. I don't know if you see on social media, but when you see someone that's actually successful, it's because they are working out, they're working on their future, they're aiming towards their goals, but it's because they're working on themselves.
I know that a lot of persons at this point, and COVID has added another element to everything else that people have to juggle.
Yes.
Just to be functional. and if I should take the time, as you're suggesting, Clisver, to work on myself, it might then impact on other things that I'm juggling. So how then do I juggle all of these different pieces and remain functional? Because anything that you're going to take the time to do will more than likely take time from something else that you're already doing.
Yes, but if you think about it, your main priority should always be yourself, because if there's a saying out there, and it's, we should always, if you ever heard the airplane quote, we should put on our mask before we put on everybody else's. Because if you don't focus on yourself, you can't take care of everything else. And that should be always your main priority, to eat healthy, because if you don't eat healthy, if you don't take care of your body or your everything else, it's more expensive to pay a doctor bill. If you don't work on yourself, your goals and your passion or whatever, later on, you might wake up in life and say, I didn't do what I wanted to do in life and I wasted my life away.
True.
So
True.
it's good. It's always good to focus on yourself in general. And there's always time. I think that sometimes we think about a lot of, but I would rather be on social media a few minutes, or I would rather, and we kind of take that time and misuse it sometimes. But I think that if we really calculate the time in our day, there is time. We just kind of sometimes misuse it.
I know you've been enjoying the conversation, but we're going to take a little break and get a word from our sponsor.
Does your business lack branding? Having difficulty realizing your vision? Look no further. Splinth Brand Design Consultancy specializes in developing personal and business brands. Services include strategic management, website creation, social media branding, and more. Visit them online at www.wearesplinth.com. Splinth, the brand you need to succeed.
It's interesting you should say that, because recently resumed work, and I realized that in the evenings, because I just wanted to just escape from everything, 1 or 2 evenings I just put on Netflix and I was watching movies, and about a night or so I said no. So for the last 2 nights or so, I was watching documentaries instead. I said no. That same time I can use something to feed my mind.
Exactly.
Instead of just watching garbage, because it really is.
Exactly.
Yes, it allows you to escape from your present reality. But I said, no, I can feed my mind with something. I'm not saying I'm not going to watch movies anymore, but at least I can balance it. And it's interesting you should say something about, you might end up, living a life that maybe it is that you're not really as fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
I'm rephrasing what you said, because recently I had a conversation with my friend's son. We're talking and he's 11. And he said to me, what's my dream job? And it was just a random question. And I stopped and I thought about it, and I said, it's interesting he should ask me that, because I'm at the stage where I usually ask students, because in my other life, I'm an educator, and I'll say, where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years time? So I asked them that question. Now he was asking me, and I stopped and I paused about it. And I said, in a matter of years, I'm going to be looking at retirement. Have I had my dream job, and can I create my dream job? And he actually got me thinking. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, wow, out of the mouth of an 11-year-old. I said, so it's interesting, because sometimes we think we're living the life that we want, but then sometimes we have to be reminded that, is this really the life that you wanted, or do you then need to add some other pieces so you're really as fulfilled as you want to be? And if it is that you're not feeling fulfilled, it then impacts on the relationships you have with others.
It does. It actually does. And that's part of the work I do in general. It's to actually find your passion, to find your fulfillment, to find what it is that you're actually looking for.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. As we're wrapping up, what would be the one idea, if everything else, somebody's still cynical about the whole idea of developing this mindset that we're talking about that comes from a healthier you, being more confident and all of that, what's the one idea that you want to leave with our listeners?
I think that it's never too late. And I think that if you have time, just go for it. Don't think that I'm not ready enough, that I'm not smart enough, that I'm not whatever you think you're thinking right now, you are good enough. I think that just go for it, and it's never too late.
Thank you so much, Clisver. This was a pleasure.
Thank you, too.
Okay. This was Making It Last podcast. I'm your host, Noreen Daly. Until next time.
Making it last is all I'm here to do. You loving me, I loving you. Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life, won't live in the past. All I wanna do now is making it last.